Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome to developer livestream number 5. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me, if the audio sounds good. I switched up some things with my setup since the last dev live stream, so I want to make sure that the mic is working and the camera's working and all that, and that the connection looks good. The previous developer live stream number 4, I think actually took place during the Kickstarter campaign. It was towards the end of it. I want to say that was 9 months ago, because it would have been June of last year. So it's been a very, very long time. Okay, I do see a lot of people saying that it seems like it's working, so that's good. We'll go ahead and move on from there then. So yeah, welcome to developer livestream number 5. If you don't know me, I'm Tyler. I'm at Falcon Develops on Twitter. I'm the main developer for Cattails and also Cattails Wildwood Story. And today we're celebrating the launch of the beta. This is a very long time coming. The game was in its alpha state for a very long time, since August of last year. And so with the beta, we've introduced a ton of new features. We've brought in a new wave of players. And so we're really, really excited about this. This is a pretty major milestone in the project. And as we push forward from here, we're just looking up and up and up, because the full release is the next sort of major milestone. Which is kind of scary for myself, but we feel pretty good about how the game is shaping up, and I think you guys will see that as well once we dive in here. So the plan for tonight, I'm going to be streaming for about an hour or so. I'll be taking your questions and your comments in the chat, hopefully interacting with you guys a little bit. And then on top of that, I'm also going to be actually playing the beta build of the game through Steam, so that you guys can see some of the work that we've been working on lately for Cattails Wildwood Story. If you're not over on Kickstarter, if you haven't been checking out our updates there, or if you don't follow us on social media, I get it. But the important thing to note is that every month we've been releasing monthly builds of the game. Each of these builds includes some new features, some bug fixes, couple of optimization changes, things like that, just to make the game a little bit better. So every month since August of last year, we've just been knocking out update after update after update, hopefully making the game a little bit better every time. So I'm hoping you'll be able to see that tonight as we dive into the game. So I'm going to go ahead and launch Cattails Wildwood Story here, just so we can get going. And I'll switch that over on the streaming software. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. So I'm going to jump into the game. Now, because of the new features that were included in the beta, it's actually really, really difficult to showcase. Some of the items are for late game, and some of the items are more early, like the new intro experience. So it's very difficult to sort of showcase that all in one night, in 1 hour, on a single save file. So I went ahead and I made a save file that we're going to jump into later that'll show some of the cool later game features, especially kittens. I'm hoping to showcase the kittens a little bit. So that's exciting. but we're going to start by making a new file so that we can sort of show you guys a little bit of that new intro experience, which you actually saw in the teaser that played just before this live stream. If you were here early enough, there was a little bit of that new intro that was included in that teaser video. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get going underway here, just to get us started. So I'm gonna make a new file. I'm just gonna make a cat here real fast. I'll call it Tyler, because that is my name, so that makes it nice and easy. And then I'm gonna pick a color, just sort of at random here. Let's go with the Bengal. I do like that color. And I think blue eyes are a little bit boring, so let's change that to something else, maybe like a really light color. Ooh, I like that. That's kind of nice. I'm gonna lighten that up a little bit. I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, that looks good. Maybe we'll be the slender cat model for this playthrough, maybe with the short, the short tail. I think that looks good. So we have our character here, and I'm going to, let's see, birthday doesn't really matter. We're probably not going to make it a summer on this file anyways, so I'll just go ahead. We're going to stick with all the default options here as we make our new file, and then of course, this is a new feature, so if you already have a save file and you go to make a new file, it's going to ask you, do you want to play the intro or skip the intro? Of course, for the live stream, we're going to play the intro because that's going to showcase some of the new features. So this has already been in the intro cinematic, so I'm just going to rush through that real fast. It's just setting up the story of what's going on in the world. Basically, you and a bunch of other cats have been living peacefully out in a forest for a very long time. Those are the events of the first game, if you've played that. Then some great calamity happens. The Temple of the Forest Guardian is destroyed, and so we all have to move on and find a new home, and that is the setup for the new introductory experience. So I'm just going to kind of click through this real fast. You know, of course you don't have to go through that quite that fast, but I'm going to just for the sake of the stream to get us into actual gameplay. This is the new introductory experience. It's sort of half tutorial, half story, so it's going to teach you how to play, but it's also going to set up the events of the game in a pretty nice way. So we have Coco here, and Coco says, another day, another campsite to establish. This looks like as good a place as any. Flat ground and good hunting nearby, according to the scouts. Let's all work together to ensure that we have adequate shelter and food before it gets dark. Spark says, do we really have to set up camp again? We just did that yesterday. When are we gonna finally pick a place to settle down and stop moving all the time? I'm too tired to help out. My paws are sore. And Jag says, will you quit your belly aching and lend a paw already? The job won't ever get done with that attitude. We'll settle down once we find the right spot. Haven't found anywhere that's got the right resources to keep us going. Tyler will tell us when we've arrived. Isn't that right, Tyler? And then Coco says, of course Tyler will make an announcement once we find our new home. For now, we've got to keep looking. We've all survived a difficult winter. Now that spring is here at last, our luck may finally turn for the better. I suspect it will soon. Then Ember says, Spark, we could really use your help. Where are you going to sleep if the shelter is not built? You're not my little kitten anymore, you're an adult. We all need you to pitch in if you want to be treated like one. Hey Tyler, I'm gonna go out and hunt. In the meantime, do you suppose you could help Spark feel better? I think Spark would cheer right up if they had some valerian to energize them. It's a pink herb that grows around here. Always puts a spring in my step. I saw a huge cluster of valerian just south of here across the brook. Alright, I'm headed out to find some dinner. Remember, the valerian is just to the south. Best of luck to you. So then Coco goes off to do their thing, and that leaves us to help Spark by finding the valerian. So you can see that it's kind of got some tutorialization going on. It's pointing you towards the valerian to help you know how to play. Of course, I'm playing with my my trusty Logitech F310 controller plugged into USB, so it's giving me the controller tips. So there's the valerian. I can pick that, pick a little bit more of that. I'm gonna just read over the chat here, get a little bit caught up. If you guys have any questions, feel free to sort of put those in there, and I would be happy to answer those as we go here. There's a question, is there an estimated exact date? There is no estimated exact date for the release of the game, but I will say that on Steam, we're hoping to have it out by the end of this year, so we're targeting fourth quarter of 2023. That will be the Windows and the Mac release of the game. Nintendo Switch is going to be sometime next year. We're saying late next year to give us a lot of time. We will keep you guys updated as we go, just so that you guys know the status on all of that as we continue to develop the game. But I will say so far we've had a pretty good track record of hitting our estimates on time. We got the beta out just on time. The alpha also launched in the same month that we estimated we would launch it, and we're feeling optimistic at the moment. So I would say the game, if I had to say right now, you know, no promises, but my confidence level is pretty high that we'll have the Steam release released by the end of this year. Let's see here. There's a question about what characters were the most fun to write and the least fun to write. That's a good question. I really enjoyed writing for Crampy. Crampy is a really eccentric character. Here's Crampy right here. We'll talk to Crampy a little bit. Crampy is fun because there's a very defined sort of personality behind this character that comes over from the previous game as well, of course, if you've met Crampy in Cattails 1. So there's sort of a persona that you can take on to write Crampy, and it's sort of that, you know, the scientist whose ideas have gone a little bit too far sort of a personality, and that's kind of fun. I also really enjoyed writing for Arthur, who is actually not in this game, but in terms of fun to write for, I really enjoyed writing for Arthur in the previous game. Alright, so I should give Spark this Valerian. I should give this Valerian to Spark. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. First I have to pull it out of my inventory, and then offer it to him. Let's see here. There's a question. When do you think the game will be released on Switch? Again, next year sometime. It's going to be 2024. I don't have an exact date. Just keep an eye out for that. We will be sure to keep you updated. A question about split screen. Our current target is to have the game available single player only, so unfortunately split screen support is not something that we are looking to do. It's a question about, will the rival couples have kittens too? Yes, they will. We haven't really talked too much about that because that feature is not implemented yet. But yeah, some of the rival couples are going to have kittens of their own that will sort of be around and you'll be able to get to know them. So we'll have more to say about that when we go to implement the rival marriages feature, which again was one of the Kickstarter stretch goals. So that's going to be a really cool defining feature of Cattails Wildwood Story that was not at all a feature in the first Cattails. I'm excited to tackle that challenge personally. A game that I played growing up a lot was Harvest Moon 64, which, you know, I've borrowed a lot of ideas from, but one of the big ones that I never got around to implementing in the first Cattails is the rival marriages. You know, all of the other bachelors and bachelorettes in that game, if you befriended them but didn't end up dating them and they weren't the one that you married, you could potentially go and watch them all pair up and get together and get married, and I think that's a really cool kind of wholesome feature. So pretty excited about that one, but it's probably not coming for, you know, a couple more months at least, I would say. There's some other really big features that are a little higher priority for me right now, namely the main story, right? So if this tutorial you're watching is the beginning of the main story, I mean, it sets it all up. It's, you know, it sort of begins you on your adventure, but after this intro, it sort of just drops off and there's not that scripted, structured story. I know exactly what that's going to look like. I just haven't had the time to implement that yet. So that's going to be a pretty late add to the game. If you were around for the development cycle of the first game, I think the main story was actually one of the very last things to be added, and that's probably going to be the case for Wildwood Story as well. A big part of that is just the scope of it. It's such a massive feature, you know, to put all that in and all the scripted cutscenes and everything that comes along with that. So hang tight for that, but it should be there by the full launch, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. I think you guys will like it a lot. I'm gonna take a sip of water here. Gotta stay hydrated. Question, what happened to the other cats that are not in the game? So of course, if you play Cattails 1, there's a lot of cats in that game. We've brought over some of them. Coco, Ellie, Crampy, Jag, who else? Is that everybody? Yeah, so those cats we brought over from the first game. A lot of other cats are in the first game that have not made it into Wildwood Story, and so the idea there is that those cats, they decided to follow some other leader or do their own different thing when all of the cats left their original home. And so the only cats that you actually interact with in Wildwood Story are the cats who chose to follow you, and then later, new cats that you'll recruit to your colony. So a brand new cast of characters. And the reason that we did that is because we wanted the new game, the sequel, to feel fresh and new and exciting. We wanted new characters to surprise and delight all the players. But we also wanted that familiar touchstone of characters that are fan favorites that we could bring back, that we were very excited to be able to work with even some of the original creators of these characters to really bring out their personalities again, to bring them forward, to get new portraits done for all of them. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind that. Question about controller support. There's definitely controller support. I'm playing with a controller right now. Any controller that supports X input and also Nintendo Switch controllers should work perfectly fine for playing the game. I test the game on controller all the time because one of our export targets is the Nintendo Switch, and so I want to make sure that the game feels really, really good to play on a controller, in addition to mouse and keyboard for everybody who plays with those control schemes. Just getting caught up on the chat here. Oh, Ember, right, of course, Ember, yeah. So the reason that I skipped over Ember is because Ember is going to be important to the live stream later on. In my file where I'm going to be demonstrating the kitten system, I've actually singled out Ember to be the parent of the kitten, so you'll get to see that a little bit later on. So probably just, I had him on my mind earlier today, and then I, slipped my mind right now. You're right, though. Ember is also coming over from the first game. I see a lot of comments about Steam Deck and the game running really smoothly on Steam Deck. I'm so excited to hear that. I don't have a Steam Deck, unfortunately. I really want to get one. They look super cool. But I haven't had a chance to test the game on a Steam Deck, but I've heard from 3 or 4 different people that Wildwood Story runs super, super well on the Steam Deck. So that's exciting. I hope to be able to play through the whole thing on a Steam Deck one of these days. Question about making map tiles through the community content API. You already can do that, actually. You have all the tools out there to do that. If you check the community content API, you can find out all the details on how you can add new map tiles or modify existing map tiles. Question about recruiting cats and recruiting new cats to the colony. So right now, the way that it works just for testing purposes and the way that every new player that starts the game sort of experiences it, is you start with all the cats, every cat that you'll kind of end up recruiting. You sort of start with them in the colony. Eventually that is not going to be the case. You're going to start with a much smaller colony represented by just the cats that you're seeing here in the intro. And then over time you'll be recruiting the others in. And as you recruit them, they can bring certain special features and benefits along with them. For example, Alabaster. When you recruit Alabaster, you're going to unlock the gardening feature. So that's a pretty big feature. It's going to change a lot about how the game feels that we're looking at implementing pretty soon here. Let's see here. Plans to add dialogue. Yeah, so something that we sort of do pretty regularly is we add a couple new pieces of dialogue into the game just to freshen up the characters, to make them feel a little bit more lively. A lot of the characters have some pretty specific dialogue that can be triggered only under very, very specific circumstances. And we really like to implement that whenever we can. So, for example, just this morning I added some lines of dialogue regarding, like, if you, let's say that you end up having kittens with, with Spark, right? Well, Spark is Ember's kid, and so I wanted it so that if you went and talked to Ember would mention something about being a grandparent, which I think is kind of cool. So, like just this morning, I added that line of dialogue into the dev build. So that's the sort of thing that we're sort of always looking at, is how can we make these characters feel a little bit more lively, make them react in unique ways that might, catch you off guard when you're playing, to surprise you. So that's just something that we do. We did a pretty big pass on adding some unique lines of dialogue a couple of months ago. One of the major features we implemented was like 5 to 10 new lines of dialogue for all like 20 cats, which takes quite a while to implement and get tested and all that. But I think that it really makes the colony feel more like a community, because then all of the cats could kind of reference each other and talk about their relations to each other, and you know, so-and-so did such and such a thing that made me upset, or so-and-so did this cool thing, you know. I think that makes it feel more like a living, breathing community of cats. In the first game, they kind of feel a little disjointed because a lot of the dialogue is pretty generic, and so I wanted to avoid that with Wildwood Story. Alright, just looking over some of the other chat questions. Oh no, did we lose volume? Can people hear the game audio? Is that a problem right now? Is there no game audio coming through? I can fix that if that is the case. Question, will this come out on Switch? Yes, it will. Next year, we're planning to release it on Switch, sometime in 2024. Okay, alright, sounds like the game audio is working okay. A little quiet. Yeah, it probably is. Let me boost that just a bit. Give it like a 10 to 20% boost and see how that sounds. Let's see here. Question about on why the game's releasing later on Switch. So basically, we're a really, really small company. So I do all of the porting from the Windows and Mac build of the game to the Switch build myself, just in-house here. It's you know, it's just me sitting at this desk with the build of the game and with a Switch dev kit. And so, you know, sometimes technical challenges arise when you're working with a new platform. It's the same thing with bringing it to Mac, to be honest, but Mac is slightly easier for some reasons. So basically, that's why we're giving ourselves so long. Is sometimes you can run into some technical challenges that take longer than you expect. But yeah, we'll keep you updated as the whole process comes along. Why do Crampy's paws look so squishy? That's a great question. I don't know, but I would love to grab those little paws. Oh yeah, there's a comment about the music. Yeah, so the soundtrack I think turned out amazing. I'm not a musician, so I outsourced the soundtrack to Tormod Garvin, who also did the soundtrack for Cattails 1 that came out in 2017. He knocked it out of the park both times, but for Wildwood Story especially, the soundtrack is like, I mean, it's almost 3 times as long. It's over 2 hours of new music, and I love how it all came together. I listen to it sometimes when I'm developing. I just put on the soundtrack and then have that run for 2 hours, you know, to get me in the headspace and the mood for writing for the game or developing or whatever I'm doing that day. There's a question, is Jag romanceable? Yes, every single adult cat in the game that lives in your colony is going to be romanceable. So there's something like 19 or 20 marriageable cats right now. I think the first game had, what were there? There were 16, well, the base game had 12, and then later there were 16, and then the custom colony came out, and then I think there were 20 total. So there's going to be 20 romanceable cats or 19, 20, I don't know, something like that. I'll have to go back and count. It's very, very close to that so far in Wildwood Story. How are you doing, Tyler? How was your day? I'm doing great. My day was great. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that. The weather here's been pretty nice. It's been very, very warm and very sunny. So I got out and did some biking with my wife, Becca, and that was pretty fun yesterday. So doing pretty good here. Thanks. All right. So pretty soon here we are going to wrap up the intro, and we're going to pick some very important details about our colony that we're going to be founding. Because, of course, according to the story right now, we're sort of in the wilderness. We're just traveling around trying to find a new home. Haven't really picked a permanent place yet, but that's going to change very, very soon. So I'm just going to fast forward here a little bit. Going to keep us moving. All right. Yep, all the cats are like, yep, that sounded cool. Let's find a home. Alright, so Jag tells us, hey, I have the latest scouting reports right here. Where would you like to settle? These are all the nearby options. And so we can pick any of these, and that will sort of set up the beginning setup for our colony. Whatever biome we pick is going to be what our town looks like when we first move in. Of course, all of this is changeable later, which I'm pretty excited about. I hope to showcase some of those features during the dev live stream. You can change like everything. You can move the trees, you can move the water, change the pathways up, move every building, change the styles of the buildings. Do pretty much whatever you want with your town to make it look exactly how you want it to look. Which is a great feature, but we've made these 5 preset colony layouts that you can choose from at the very beginning. This should give you a pretty distinct feel. So I want to get some feedback from the chat maybe. Which of these 5 options do you guys think we should pick to settle in for this particular live stream? So we've got the forest. It's just, you know, you've probably seen that one before. That's the default option that's been in since the pre-alpha days. Then there's a meadow. It's kind of like a river meadow. It's pretty sparse. It's just some flowers and a wide river that runs around it. There's a swamp, of course. Lots of water, murky water everywhere. A lot of willow trees. There's this beach one as well. It's like an inland lagoon. It's got this like inland sea on it, and then a bunch of palm trees. It's very sandy. And then finally the volcano, which, you know, is a fan favorite, but also like probably the most dangerous one, because you can just wander into the lava and die just walking around town, which I personally kind of like, but I know that that's not everybody's cup of tea. I'm seeing a lot of people with a lot of opinions. I think the one that I am seeing the most is either meadow or volcano, so it's probably going to be between those. And I did actually just make one with the volcano earlier today, so I think I'm going to go with the meadow. I think this time around we're going to go with the meadow. We're going to check that out. So we'll go with the meadow. And Coco says that looks like an ideal spot to settle. And then what are we going to call ourselves, right? So now we got to pick that. I might just hit randomize here a couple times, and we'll decide based on that. Flower colony. That seems in line with what a group of cats who live in a big river meadow might call themselves. So we'll stick with that. We'll say flower. And then we got to pick a name for it. Let's see here. Ooh, the Flower Empire. Flower. Oh man, there's so many. The Flower Settlement. Maybe the Flower Settlement. And maybe one of these has some flowers in it. We could do that one. I mean, that's obviously a river meadow. We could go with that one. Maybe there's something else that's more obviously a flower. So that one has a rose in it. The sun's not bad, because, you know, every flower needs the sun. Let's see here. What else can we do? We could do the leaf, but it's not really a flower. Yeah, I think we might go with that sun. I think the sun kind of works pretty well. And then I want to be the mayor. I'll be the mayor of the Flower Settlement. I think that sounds pretty good. There we go. All right, I am now the mayor of the Flower Settlement, and tomorrow we are going to be moving into our new home. Mayor of the Flower Settlement. So we'll get a good look at that. We arrived there towards the evening, so you can see the stars reflected there in the big river there. I think this is actually the layout that is present in the beta teaser video that played at the beginning of this live stream. Alright, so we are moved into the flowery meadow here, and Coco's going to show us our house and tell us a little bit about it. Of course, your house is sort of your hub of operations. It's where you sleep, it's where you can save the game, you can, you know, train your skills there, check out all the latest events, the festivals that are coming up, birthdays that are coming up, all of that. So the home is a very important place to sort of know about. So I think I'm just going to go straight in here, go right to bed, because tomorrow morning we'll get to check out some of the other new features that are now present in the beta. So Coco should be right back out there to greet us, and is going to teach us a little bit about the build menu. Alright, so Coco's saying, yep, good morning. We got to build a temple for the Forest Guardian. That's going to be a very important building to the game. The temple is sort of going to be your hub for the main quest, which is not implemented yet, but it's going to come later. So Coco's showing us the Founder Stone. The Founder Stone is very important because it's a place where you can access the build menu primarily, which allows you to change up the details of your colony, but it also lets you change all of that stuff that we said earlier. You can change the name of the colony, change your leader title, you know, all of that stuff. And you can also check out your stockpiles, which are another new feature that I hope to demonstrate in a little bit. So here we're on the build menu. You can see that it's sort of gridded now. In the build menu, you can move buildings around, you can move water, move world objects, so like this lantern here. Let's say I don't want that lantern there, right? I can pick that up, put it over here. Pick up that bush, put it down here, you know. Let's say I really don't like this pond here, you know. I want to put, you know, let's say I want to put the temple like right here. I want to put it behind my house so that it's nice and easy to get to. So I can remove all this water, right? Clear that out. We'll just get rid of that. And then we can access the catalog. Go ahead and select the temple here. I'll just put that down right about there. All right, so I've placed the temple. And now I want a path that's gonna lead from my house up to the temple, and I want it to look sort of unique. So I might pick this celestial path. Now I can just place that down here. That'll automatically connect to the other paths if I take it near enough. So something like that. I think that works. So now I have this lovely path that runs straight from my house right over here. I can go down the path, across, and then up the rainbow bridge here to the temple. And I can easily access the hub for the main quest. So, of course, I can do some stuff to decorate around here too. Let's say that it's, you know, a little bit dark at night and I want some lights of some sort. I can pull out some lights from the decor menu. You know what? Those blue crystal lamps, those look pretty cool. So I can put a couple of these down. Go ahead and do that. And then I don't really like that there. And then, you know what? I do want a lake back there. I was just clearing off space so that I could have, you know, a little bit of room to work with. So I'm actually going to put that lake back, but I'll put it off to the side here. So I can just put down some water. And just like that, now we have another little decorative lake back here. I think that looks quite nice. Maybe need some trees, something to decorate back there a little bit more with. I like the birch trees. I think I'm going to stick with the birch as sort of the design motif of the colony. So I'll put a couple more birches around that lake. I'll pick another one, a smaller one probably, for the other side of it. There we go. Now I can close out of that. I can confirm that change. And now Coco's going to tell me that I did a good job, give me some tips on things that I can work on now. And that's the end of the new intro. So now I'm free to play the game, do whatever I want, go explore the map, you know, check my mail, go hunting, pick herbs, whatever I want to do. But you can see here that the changes that I've made have taken effect. And so there's little lakes here. Of course, the temple's here. I can go into that. I can go talk to the Forest Guardian, who's just chilling in here, waiting for me to come say hello. Hello, Forest Guardian. How are you doing? So I can say hello. So yeah, the build menu is a feature that I'm super excited about. I mean, there's so much you can do with that. You can really customize your colony quite a bit with that. And all you have to do, anytime you want to access that, is you just run over here to the Founder Stone, interact with that, open the build menu, and then boom, there you go. You can do whatever you want. You can move the Founder Stone if you want. You can put that somewhere that's even more convenient. Let's just plop that down right about there. I got that stone. And then let's give it a little bit of a backsplash with one of these paths. I'm going to use the quarry dirt just to make a little patch of earth there. There we go, something like that. So now there's like well, I'll get rid of that. There we go, like that. And boom, now the Founder Stone is over here instead. So that's one of the really big new features that was not in the alpha. Pretty excited about that. Oh yeah, you can even change what biome you're in, basically. You can change the ground type. So let's say that I'm really bummed that I didn't pick the volcano, right? And that I picked the river meadow instead. Well, I can just change it to a basalt ground type, and then I can open up my menu here, and I can put down, you know, lava. And now I basically have, you know, a volcano biome instead of a meadow. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with that. You can really play around with that, really get creative. I'm going to change it back because I do want to be in the flower meadow, but just wanted to demonstrate some of the flexibility of that. Alright, Alright, so I'm going to save here just to make sure that I don't miss out on anything. And then I'm going to show a couple of the other new features. So one of the big new features that just came out with the beta is this new world map. Narabas Artworks drew this for the game. I think it turned out so good. It looks a lot better than my, you know, I whipped up a map in like Microsoft Paint that was, you know, like little two-dimensional trees and sort of a white background. It looked okay, but it wasn't great. And so I really knew that I wanted to make a world map that looked awesome for the new game. So working with Narabas Artworks was awesome. They also did all of the portraits for all of the characters, which those turn out great too. So the new world map is super awesome because it is viewed all the time if you're working with the influence system at all, which is, you know, your ability to take over some of these surrounding tiles, participate in these daily battles, and then of course assign squads to go out and collect resources for your colony. The world map is sort of how you do that. So I'm going to go over here to Talon. I got to go find where Talon lives to demonstrate that feature. Looks like Talon is up in the upper left-hand corner on this map, so I got to swim across this river. And there is Talon. Okay, so we're going to say hello to Talon. Talon is not the most friendly cat, but Talon is a very good cat to know because Talon is the cat that you talk to if you want to assign squads. Squads are regiments of cats that you can send out to either collect resources from territory regions that you currently control. So I could send them here to South Central and they would collect that one prey. Or I can send out a squad to attack an area that I don't own, which is going to spark a new daily battle in that area. And of course, if I go and participate in that daily battle, then I can take over that region a little bit quicker than I could have if I did not do that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to send out a squad to this Rivervale region. So I'll tell Talon that I want to assign a squad there. You can see now there's a squad assigned to the Rivervale region, and now if I actually move down there, you'll see a battle begin, which I can participate in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to head out that way. While I'm walking, I'm going to catch up on the chat here. Question about recruiting cats, is that still planned? Yes, it is. That's going to come to the game pretty soon here, probably in the next couple of months. Yeah, so right now you start with every cat. In the future, you won't. So, for example, Talon is one of those cats you're not going to start with. You're going to have to recruit Talon. And then once you do recruit Talon, then you're going to be able to assign squads. So it's sort of, you know, it's a way to gate some of those features as well to make it not too overwhelming for new players. So that feature is definitely still planned. Because right now, you jump in and there's like 20 cats and you haven't met any of them. And that seems a little odd for story reasons. And it is. And that's mostly just so that I can test it for development. So you can see I just won that squad battle there, and that has helped me to gain a lot of influence in that area. So you can see I'm at 91% influence. If I just get 9% more influence here, I would actually capture this tile, and this region would now belong to my colony, which provides me a number of benefits. More prey will spawn there, herbs there generally grow a little higher quality, more bugs you can find there. You're not going to get attacked by random voidlings there nearly as often. And then of course, maybe one of the most important features is that once you own a region, you can begin to take resources from that area. So you can see this area has, in the lower right-hand corner there, it says Prey 2. If I were to send a squad here and I already owned this area, then I am able to harvest those 2 prey from this area. What that does is it adds them to my colony stockpiles, and I'll go ahead and show you that feature. The colony stockpiles is a new concept. It's sort of this abstract representation of all of the stored wealth of your colony. And if I talk to Talon, or if I interact with the Founder's Stone, I can show you what I'm talking about. So we'll check this out. Here's our colony stockpiles. We've got prey, herbs, treasure, wood, stone, and sand. These resources are going to build up over time. The top 3 of them, prey, herbs, and treasure, they have a burn rate, so every day they're going to decrease by a set amount. If they're able to do that, you're going to get a perk. So, for example, prey, if I have 3 prey in that stockpile at the beginning of the day, it's going to activate the perk, it's going to remove 3 prey from the stockpile, and then it's going to activate this perk that says friendship points are easier to gain with all colony cats. So for the remainder of the day, you can earn friendship a lot easier if your prey stockpile is well stocked. Of course, you can donate your items to increase the values of those stockpiles, so I'll go ahead and do that. I have a ton of Valerian. I'm going to donate all 5 of that. And you can see that that actually reached the herb stockpile burn rate, so it activated the perk for the herb stockpile. And now you can see that I have 2 remaining because 3 of those got burned. And that activated this perk that says fighters from your colony gain extra hit points. So now if I go to a daily battle, my cats will sort of stay alive a little bit longer and be able to help me out more. So that's sort of the stockpile system. The bottom 3 stockpiles, wood, stone, and sand, these are construction resources. They are used in the construction of all of these sort of improvements, or, you know, they're like technology research from like Age of Empires 2 is how I think about them. They are permanent perks that you gain with a one-time purchase. For example, this one's called Improved Roofing. After constructing this project, sleeping in your bed will yield bonus XP and heal additional hearts. And that's just a permanent boost that you will always have after you construct this particular construction project. So it's really, really worthwhile to interact with that system, to fill up those stockpiles, spend those resources. And of course, to do that, you're going to want to take over some of the map, because the corners, especially the outside of the map and the corner regions, those have all of the really good resources and also higher quantities of resources to collect. So something to keep in mind as you're playing, for sure. Alright, I'm going to flip it over to my other save file and show you guys a little bit of the kitten system, because I know that is a highly anticipated feature that I was super excited to be able to get out with the most recent version of the game. So I'm going to load up kittens test here. This file, I've actually got it set up so that as soon as I go to sleep, I'm gonna get, give me just 1 second here, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, I'm back. Alright, so this is my other save file. This one I've actually got it set up so that as soon as I go to sleep, I'm going to get the prompt from my partner that says that the kittens have arrived, and then I can show you what those kittens look like, sort of how that genetic system works out, and be able to interact with those kittens a little bit. So first off, let me go out here, and you can see that Ember is the cat that I'm married to. So Ember has this sort of darker orange tabby kind of pattern, and then those really light emerald green eyes. So here, you can get a better look at Ember there. So it's going to, the game, the engine that we built, is going to dynamically combine the elements of my coloration, so everything about my sort of brown tabby pattern with those white highlights, with Ember's pattern, the sort of dark orange tabby with the, you know, the green eyes. And it's also going to pull out the body type features. So you can see that my cat is very, very fluffy. Got the fluffy option for like every option. Ember, on the other hand, has more of the short hair options and then that downward tail. So you'll be able to see that the kittens actually inherit some of these traits from each parent, which is kind of cool. So I'll go ahead and get that underway. You can have kittens with any cat who you can marry, which is every adult cat that lives in your colony. Alright, so here we go. Going to sleep here, and here we go. It's happening. It's finally happening. The kittens are here. Alright, we got 4 of them. Alright, so here is kitten number 1. Before we give him a name, I like to look at the patterns first. So you can see here that this one's got those green eyes, just like Ember has. And then, ooh, I really like the paws, actually. You can see that the paws, it's taken 2 paws from my cat, and then 2 of those dark orange paws from Ember. That's kind of a really cool pattern. And then, of course, it has the fluffy tail from my cat. This one is a little bit more Ember. Oh, that one's very Ember. That one's like Ember Jr. But the eyes, it looks like, is actually a combination of our 2 eye colors. So something that's pretty cool about this game too is that in the first Cattails, the way that the kitten genetics work is that we had defined 12 different pattern options. They were like presets that would say, you know, with this particular pattern, you pull this from, you know, the player and this from their spouse, and then you combine them in these set ways, and then you make one of 12 kittens, right? That's how it worked in the first game. In this game, everything is independently figured out. So the options for any two possible parents to have kittens, it's virtually endless. There are literally probably tens of thousands of possible kittens that could be generated from any two possible parents' colors. So that's pretty cool, pretty excited about that. And then on top of that, you have the eye colors that are completely unique because those can be pulled in varying shades from each parent. They can be heterochromatic as well, so each eye can be a different color. And you also have the ability to pull down the different physical aspects of the parents and get the different body types from either of the parents. So a ton of variation there. I think for this first kitten, we're gonna go with option 1 here. I'm gonna name, what should I call this one? I really like the staggered paws there, like the two diagonal orange paws and then the two diagonal white paws there. I think those are pretty cool. I'm gonna call this one Socks, I think. And then of course the kittens also have traits. You can see that this kitten is going to start with the keen trait and the adaptive trait. These traits are used by the buddy system. They're special mechanical perks that will help you out as you're adventuring with the kitten. But something super cool about the kittens that you don't get to do with the other buddies is you can actually retrain your kittens and you can change their traits at a little bit of experience cost to you. And so you can change it. And so if you want a kitten that has the inspiring trait, you can just go and teach them the inspiring trait, and then they will get the inspiring trait instead of, you know, adaptive here, or whatever their trait is. So we're gonna confirm those details for this one. All right, here's our second kitten that we generated. So we got this one, which is kind of cute. Oh, and then of course they all have dialogue portraits as well, which is a new feature that the kittens in Cattails 1 do not have. They don't have their own portraits. Oh, option 4 is pretty cool, because that one got the heterochromatic eyes. You've got two different colors there. There's a green eye coming down from Ember, and there's a purple eye coming down from my cat. That's kind of neat. Oh, and that one even more so. That one is really stark. The contrast there is high. So I like that one, and I love the white muzzle. I think I'm gonna have to go with that one. It's got that dark orange from Ember, and then the white belly from my cat. So we're going to name this one. What do you guys think this cat would be called? I'm thinking something like, man, I'm just looking at those eyes, and I'm thinking something like watermelon. You've got that red and green kind of color scheme going on. I mean, there's something there. But yeah, if anyone has a suggestion, feel free to put that in chat. So this kitten is delicate and lucky by default. That means that they're pretty good at harvesting herbs. They can harvest an herb that's one rank better than what's actually growing. And lucky, which, you know, who knows what that does, but realistically it helps you find rare items a little bit easier. Oh, there's some really good names that I see in chat. Some really great suggestions. I think I am going to name this one, yeah, Melon. I'm going to call this one Melon, and then the next one we can see what we get. So this one, oh, there we go. Yeah, I need one that's a little bit closer to my color, I think. So I might go with this one, because it's pretty close to that brown tabby original color that my cat had. Oh, but that one's got the purple and the green eyes as well. Oh, there's so many. So many good choices. Oh man, I'm really struggling with this one. I'm not sure which option to pick. Kind of like that one. I like that it has the downward tail, just like Ember has. I think that's sort of unique. I'm a fan of that. I think I'll go with option 4 there. And this one's enterprising, which is a trait that Ember has as well. So maybe Ember's passing some knowledge down to this kitten about how to be a business cat. Name this one Zephyr. Oh no, that'd be so confusing. There's already a cat named Zephyr. Mouse. Oh my goodness, I love that name. I'm gonna call this one Mouse. You're right. That's cute. Confusing? Maybe. But also very cute. And then finally, we have our fourth kitten. Gonna have to pick a pattern for this one. Oh man, which one do we want to go with? Oh, that one just looks like Ember Jr. Well, that one's pretty close, but it's got the white muzzle and the white tail tip from my cat. And then, of course, my cat's eye colors. It's got that bright purple. So that's a pretty good combo, actually. I like that. I might name this one Ember Jr. Yeah, let's go with Ember Jr. for this one. I think that works. All right, so we have our 4 kittens. And of course, all 4 of these kittens have their own dialogue and their own personalities associated with them. And once they're a little bit older, once they're no longer, you know, newborns, I'll be able to interact with them and bring them with me on adventures using the buddy system, which is pretty cool, and I hope to demo that a little bit tonight. So it is 6:50, so we're probably going to be streaming for another 15 minutes or so stick around for that. Just giving you a heads up that we are nearing the end of our time tonight. Alright, I'm going to go to sleep. I'm just going to sleep for a little bit here so that we can fast forward time a little bit and get these kittens to not be, you know, brand new newborns. Because when they're newborns, they're, you know, they're sleeping all day, and then if you go up to them, they just sort of snore. Oh my goodness, Ember Jr., you're in the entryway. Somebody's gonna trample you. Poor little kitten. All right, let's sleep one more time. All right, let's see here. I think, well, I guess it's still day 2 because it was like, what was it, like midnight when I first woke up. So I probably have to sleep one more time here to actually get to the next day. Oh, yep, now it's midnight. All right, I'll go outside just for a little bit here. Yeah, the snoring sound is kind of cute. Okay, so they're gonna wake up around, I don't know, 8 or 9 a.m. So actually, if I sleep here again, that should fast forward about 8 or 9 hours. That should be perfect. There we go. All right, here we go. Now the kittens are awake, and remember they're sort of newborn, so they won't say a lot, but you can kind of get some sense of their personality a little bit when you interact with them. So like this one, Socks, is squirming and wriggling all over the place. They look full of energy. Oh my. Wonder what that one's going to be like when they're older. And then Ember Jr., of course, is over here, and Ember Jr. looks up at you. Are they looking at your face or past it? I don't know. Another really fun feature with these kittens is that you can actually add accessories to them. So any accessory that you have unlocked. So like I'll talk to Ember here. I think I can buy. Can I buy any accessories here? No, I guess I can't. The accessories are. Well, do I have any mole cash? I don't think I have mole cash. I'll use the default accessories. But like for Ember Jr. here, we'll talk to Ember Jr. We'll change their accessories. So I can put the white flower on their head or the collar. And then if I apply that, then you can see that Ember Jr. is now wearing those accessories. I really like getting the beaky mask accessory that Crampy wears, and then making all the kittens wear the beaky mask, because I think it's really cute. But that's a new feature. That's something that's changed from the first game for sure. I don't think, yeah, the kittens could not wear accessories in the first game, that's for sure. Alright, so I'm going to save that game, I'm going to exit that, and then off screen here, let me put it back on. Oh, there we go. I'm going to edit that save file to skip forward in time just a little bit, so that the kittens are slightly older. And once I do that, I'm going to be able to showcase the buddy system a little bit better, because then I'll be able to bring the kittens with me. So I just need to change one value here. There we go, that ought to do. Alright, if we come back over here to the gameplay and we load that up, my kitten should have a new option. Yep, there it is. So I can buddy up with these kittens. So this kitten, Mouse has 2 traits. They've got enterprising and vivacious. Vivacious makes them have higher health. Enterprising makes it so that sometimes they just find random coins that you can pick up. So if you're looking to make some money, enterprising is a great trait to have. This is a special feature that only kittens have. You can retrain them. Retraining them allows you to change those traits for a little bit of your experience. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, because I don't know that I want those particular traits. I'm going to give Mouse the hunting traits, and we're going to take Mouse out hunting. So Keen and Subtle are sort of the 2 hunting traits. Keen allows them to occasionally catch 2 prey instead of 1, which is very useful, especially if they pounce on some super rare prey and you happen to trigger that trait. Subtle just makes them a much better hunter. Just their sort of base success chance is a little bit higher. So this is a pretty powerful combination if you're looking to get a lot of food very fast. So I'll retrain him, and you can see the Mouse now has the Keen and the Subtle traits. I can bring Mouse with me, and now Mouse is going to follow me around and we can adventure. Now this feature, the buddy system, is actually available for every cat once you get them up to 3 stars. You can take any of these cats out with you. Like Zephyr here, you can take Zephyr out with you. He's Zephyr has their own set of traits. And each buddy can be leveled up from level 0 to, or level 1 to level 10. Every time they level up, they're going to get a little bit more health, they're going to get a little bit more attack power, they're just going to get a little bit stronger over time. And the way that they do that is by picking herbs, defeating enemies, hunting prey, basically everything you would normally do. So there's a vole there. Oh, mouse, you missed it. That's alright. Mouse is level 1, so Mouse is not super good at anything just yet, but, you know, pretty soon we'll have Mouse trained up. So we're going to pick this licorice. Good job, Mouse. Let's pick that daisy as well. Nice. You can see their experience bar. Oh, nice. They got the magpie. You can see that experience bar in the lower left. That's filling up with experience. Once that gets high enough, I'll have the option to increase Mouse's level, which is going to make Mouse a little bit better at just about everything. So that's kind of a fun feature. You can make your buddies better over time, and then they become more effective partners for you as you're adventuring around. Hey Lainey, what are you doing out here? Just saying hello. Alright, yeah. Let's pick this licorice. Come on, Mouse. Nice. Good job, Mouse. Oh, there's a mouse there. Let's get that mouse. Mouse hunted a mouse, and look at that. That keen trait has paid off, because now instead of just catching one mouse, Mouse has caught 2 mice. This is getting very confusing very fast. Let's check our map. I just got a valerian, or I got a lavender. There we go, that's what it's called. I can use that lavender to gain a little bit of influence in an area, but I don't have any regions around here that are close to being captured by my cat, so that's not going to be too useful. So I might as well just use it here. So we went from 100% or 0% control to 15% control. That's not bad. One of the traits that your buddies can have is called Renowned, and that actually makes it so that just by passively spending time in a map region, you're going to slowly gain influence in that region over time, which I think is pretty cool. I think Coco and Talon have that trait by default. It's one of my favorite ones for, you know, if you're trying to go after owning the entire map, that's a great way to do that. Alright, so Mouse is actually a pretty good hunter here. Doing pretty good. So we're going to try to get Mouse to level up before I end this stream. So we might take Mouse to one of these daily battles. I think that'll help quite a bit if we succeed. First, let's pick that marigold. Good job, Mouse. Let's pick this valerian here. Great work, Mouse. Look at this cat go. Look at this kitten go. You're doing great, Mouse. Keep it up. Alright, pretty close here. We're almost to the battle. There's a question in chat about setting beds. Yeah, so you can set, you can assign, it's called assign bed. When you go to interact with a bed after you're married or you have kittens, it's going to ask you who you want to assign the bed to. You can assign it to your spouse or to any one of your kittens. And that is going to reserve that bed so that at night when they're sleeping, that particular cat will go to that particular bed generally. So if you want to, you can set up, 5 different beds throughout your house, and you can give one to each kitten and one to your spouse, and then that's how you can do it. And then that'll make sure that every night, those are the beds that all those characters sleep in. Yeah, I'm taking my child to war, that is true. Your kittens and your buddies, they cannot die. I see a comment about that. If they get too injured, they'll just run back to town, and then they'll heal up, and everything's fine. It won't affect them negatively in any way. You'll just lose your buddy until you go back into town. That's all that will happen there. So it looks like we're probably... Oh no! Alright, so you see there, Mouse took a little bit too much damage, so Mouse is going to run back to town, and then I'll finish up this fight without Mouse. But don't worry, the second that I go back to town, you'll see that Mouse is in good spirits and fully healed up. Oh man, this Voidling cat is really strong. All right, we got him. We got 2 lizards out of that too. That's not bad. So we'll run back to town here. We'll go grab Mouse again because I do want to level up Mouse once before we cap the stream off. There's another battle. I was not expecting that. I'm going to keep running. We're going to ignore that battle because I'm a good leader of the Flower Alliance. There's a question, can the player die? I mean, not really. You can run out of health, and then you just sort of get transported to the clinic where Dr. Crampy will fix you up. You drop some items when you do, but that's sort of the only punishment that you get. Oh, I meant to show off the task board as well. So tasks are a new feature. Every day you'll get a different randomly assigned task. So this one is Dr. Crampy asking for some golden seal, so I'll go ahead and accept that. You can check your progress there in the task log. You can see how much golden seal you have. So I have 1 golden seal in my inventory already. So Crampy is going to be happy with that. But I need to get 3 before I turn that in. When I turn it in, I get task tokens. I can spend those task tokens here at the shop. I do have some task tokens already, so I could get something with those, you know, something small. I could get this bow accessory. I'll go ahead and do that. So I got the bow accessory with my task tokens. I can bring that back to my house, and then I can find my... Oh, where's my house? Where did I leave it? You're not my house. There it is. Alright, I can go in here and I can give the bow to, let's say, Socks. I can put that bow right on Socks, and now Socks is wearing a cute little bow. Alright, where did Mouse go? Where's your sibling? Must have wandered off. Sometimes the kittens... They like to go cause mischief throughout town, so I gotta go figure out where they went to. Probably just hanging out in the corner of the store. I think one of the kittens does that. Oh, there's Melon. Where's Mouse? Where'd you go? Maybe in the temple? Could be chilling in the temple. That is possible. Let me go check there. Oh, yep, that's the portrait. There you are. Oh, not you, Coco. Coco happened to be wandering out right when I tried to talk to Mouse. Alright, we're gonna buddy up. Oh, that's so close. Only needs 4 experience points. Alright, come on, Mouse. We just need 4 experience. That shouldn't be that hard to get. We're gonna go this way. And we are gonna go pick some herbs, maybe catch some mice. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Get this daisy here, Mouse. Nice, perfect. I think like 1 more item and oh yeah, catch that sparrow. Go get it. Nice, okay, so Mouse failed, but that's okay, because you still get experience points, because you're still learning, even if you fail. That's an important life lesson. So now I can view these stats, and I can pay 20 experience points to level Mouse up, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. You can see that Mouse is now level 2, and that means that Mouse has 9 health instead of 8. That's gonna make Mouse a little bit more survivable. And also those traits, like Keen, that trait that allows it so that sometimes when Mouse hunts prey, Mouse will catch 2 instead of 1 prey. That is more likely to trigger now that Mouse is level 2 instead of level 1. So that's sort of a very high level, very quick overview of the buddy system. Eventually, your buddy can reach level 10, which is like the max buddy rank, and then they're pretty powerful. They're a great ally to have. Definitely a good idea to bring a high-level buddy with you when you go, you know, when you go mining, or if you spawn an invasion of voidling cats. That's a whole nother new feature too. There's like these combat wave challenges called invasions. There's so many new features that are out now with the beta that just weren't there when the alpha launched, and I can't possibly showcase them all in a 1-hour live stream. But I do hope that tonight gave you a little bit of a sneak peek at the game and what's to come and all the progress that we've made, because, man, if you go back and watch some of the earliest live streams, I mean, the game looks pretty different now. And I'm very, very proud of how far it's come along. So I'm going to probably wrap things up there. I'm going to go back to the title screen here. Thank you guys so much for joining. It was a great time, as always, to be able to chat with you and show off the beta a little bit. Really, really appreciate you guys being here. Wanted to give a quick shout out to everybody who played the alpha, especially, and all the people who are currently playing the beta. Honestly, you guys have helped so much. Every bug that you find just makes the game a little bit better, because it gives me information that I need in order to do my job, and to make sure that the game is as good as it possibly can be when it launches for everybody else. So really, really appreciate your time and your passion and all of the passion around the project, really. I mean, it's very inspiring to me, and it helps a lot with making the game better, so thank you for that. Again, the game is currently still in development. It's in the beta phase. We're going to be releasing more monthly updates every single month between now and the full release. That's the current plan. We'll keep you all updated on the Kickstarter as often as we can, so make sure you check there. We tend to post the updates on the first of the month along with all the patch notes, so you can keep up to date with everything that's happening with the development cycle of Cattails Wildwood Story. And then of course you can be looking forward to the full release on Steam for Windows and Mac sometime late this year, sometime during fourth quarter of 2023. So thanks again everybody. If you haven't already and you don't have access to the game, please do go to our Steam page and wishlist the game. That's going to give you an email notification as soon as the game is available. That way you don't miss out on that. So yeah, with all that being said, thanks for joining us again. I'm going to go ahead and end it here, but if you want to go back and watch the stream or share it with someone, it should be up on video on demand for quite a while. So, all right, that's a wrap for Dev Livestream number 5. Hopefully we can do another one of these sometime pretty soon here. So, thanks again for joining.